And welcome to A Cup of Tea. I'm the Pine. Hold on. Okay. See, we've lost our touch. Okay, so
you're the Pine.
I am the Pine.
And I'm the water.
She is the water. And you're listening to A Cup of Tea, a podcast about exploring life through each other's eyes.
Well, sharing a cup of tea with you. Well, my job has been taken away from me, so.
Like I said one of your lines.
Mm-hmm. You said all of it. That's fine.
I didn't say the last part.
Okay.
It was just one tiny line.
Yes. So today is we're drinking tea.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the name of the podcast, isn't it? We are drinking raspberry rooibos, which is the care package that I gave you before you came here.
We've had this before. I'm sorry, like we've had this before, and it's just I'm rolling. I'm running low on tea, so we're just going through whatever we have left. We need to go shopping for tea soon.
Yes.
We should get something cool.
Like the watermelon.
Weird. No, I mean, I don't know how I feel about the watermelon thing. Like, it's nicer than I expected it to be, but somehow the thought of it doesn't
spark joy.
Yeah, like what if I'm having it? It's nice, but I don't want to have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know if we mentioned this before, so I think we might.
I think at some point, yeah, I think we had it on the podcast. At some point.
Yeah,
but it might be on one of those episodes because, of course, like we're just mixing and matching from what we had recorded and what we're doing right now. So this might be the first time that you see it, hear it, listen to it.
But it's not the first time we
say it. Exactly.
Yeah, because David's Tea gave us. Not as a sponsor.
No.
Not yet.
Hopefully one day.
No, we went shopping and because we bought so much tea, well, technically you bought so much tea.
Yeah.
They gave us
and it was like a Halloween thingy.
Yeah. So it's a witchy watermelon thing.
Which is nice.
Looks like Lucky Charms.
It's so cute. It is actually really cute.
Yeah.
It's like purple and orange and it's really cute. And then the tea is actually purple, which I'm a fan.
And it has glitter.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's kind of weird.
It is. But it's that, like, again, having it is nice. The thought of having it, somehow, I feel like it's because it smells so sugary.
Mm.
And I'm not used to sugary tea. Like, on very few occasions will I put any sweetener in my tea. So, that one is already sweetened.
It is. It
And
doesn't need any more sugar.
I don't know. But it's nice. It's nice. It's nice. It's actually nice.
Okay. Anyways, exactly. So today we are coming back. Well, I'm coming back from vacation in Mexico.
The holidays.
Yes.
And I never left.
Nice.
I've been here all along with Tavita.
Have never left.
Exactly.
We'll never leave.
Well, I mean, hopefully, I guess. But also, I also want to go back, but hopefully I don't have to go back. It's complicated. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah, so I went away for 3 weeks. So if you follow us on Instagram, I was forced to vlog about it.
I thought it was really funny.
I mean, it was funny, yeah.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a cute, like, I looked forward to your vlogging stories, and I liked the conversation we're having. And Davicha, she's also in some stuff that we do. She was very happy about them too.
Oh, nice.
See? There you go.
Okay, we may keep the stories going. I kind of like that because recently I started watching the Vlog Brothers vlog. Like the actual vlog. She's talking about.
No, wait, yes, you did tell me.
I did.
It's the Crash Course guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, so John and Hangreen, the Crash Course guys, and SciShow, and bunch of other stuff. Like, they've written books, The Fault in Our Stars. Apparently, Hank has also written a couple books. Well, they are the Vlog Brothers. They're like ancient internet figures.
Shit.
I mean, they're like OG influence, and they're not influencers.
Okay.
YouTubers. OG YouTubers.
Oh.
And they have this format on their vlog, that is really cute, where they record videos for one another. So they're like, "Oh, hi, John. Today I'm going to talk about blah, blah, blah," and then like, see you Wednesday.
That's cute.
And then on Wednesday, John records like, "Hey, Hank. So today I did this, blah, blah, blah. See you Friday," or whatever. So I thought that was really cute. And when I started doing it for the stories,
I didn't know about it, by the way.
That's when I said, I don't know, I just sent you the message.
No, I think you said it in a story. And then I replied, I was like, I have no idea who you're talking about. And then you told me, and I was like, oh yeah, Crash Course.
Yeah. Which is really cute. I really like this. And I stole it. So, yeah, I'm a fan. So I went away for 3 weeks.
Yeah. And how was that?
I can actually divide it up per week. Kind of.
Okay. Let's see.
Because I left on a Saturday. And I think I left at like 5 a.m. I don't know. It was a very wild thing. Not a lot of sleeping. Because I was packing the day before. Like, I had been preparing my bags for like a couple weeks in advance, because I had gifts that I needed to pack. My dad, as I showed in the stories, is into DIY, and he has his tool shed, and so I bought him.
Goodness.
I bought him like tools, which I was very stupid. Very.
She said it.
Because I didn't think to check where stuff was going. Like, I'm usually very conscientious about my packing. But this time, instead of packing like the toiletry stuff in the checked bag, I packed them in the carry-on. So I had to throw a bunch of stuff out when I was going through security.
Oh no.
And I didn't pack the batteries cannot be in the checked baggage, because they are a fire hazard, and they were there. So
what happened? Did you get them back?
No, I didn't. They emailed me, and they were like, "You can't, because they are forbidden items. We can't give them to you. Like, they're taken away, and
they're
you
gone.
Don't get them
bye
back."
bye.
Yeah. Wow. That made me very sad.
Wow.
Especially because those things, like, they're power tool batteries that if you buy them here, they're super cheap. And if you buy them in Mexico, they cost like twice as much.
That's crazy.
Or even 3 times as much. Yeah, so I was very sad about it. But I didn't know, because I packed everything. I was actually hanging out with my roommate that last night. We watched a movie.
Cute.
And my flight was at 5 a.m. So that meant that I had to be at the airport at... No, wait. My flight was at 6, so I had to be at the airport at 4, which meant that I thought I had to leave like at 3. So I didn't sleep, basically.
Was the storm going when you left?
No,
Not yet.
It was one day before.
Oh, wow.
Which I felt so lucky about that. I was like, I got there right on time.
Yeah. Pablo did not share that fate.
Yeah. So I packed everything. I got an Uber, went to the airport. It was deserted, which was awesome. And I went through the fastest security line of my life. There was nobody in front of me.
Wow.
And my joy ended when I had to return because of the whole stupid packing conundrum. Anyway, so I went through, got into the airport and security and all that, boarded the plane, slept through the entire flight. Well, kind of, almost. I did wait until the sunrise because I wanted to take pretty photos.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, slept all the way through, landed. The immigration line and the packing up the luggage thing took forever. Like, it took me, I don't know, an hour and a half to actually get out of the airport.
Oh.
After landing, which was a nightmare. And part of the nightmare was that I was there waiting for my bags, and there was no bag. I mean, I got my carry-on and my backpack, but there was no suitcase. And I was like, what is this? What's happening? Yeah. So I went into the desk thingy for missing luggage, and I filed the delayed
luggage thing.
And they were like, oh, sure, no problem. It should be in your home. Like, and it was very nice. They take it to your house.
Okay.
Yeah. Within 24 to 48 hours. So I was wondering why why it was delayed, and if they might have stolen anything from me.
I was gonna ask, was it full?
It was just the batteries. It was full. The only thing missing was the battery. And they were in these like cute bags, because when you buy the tools, they come in a box, and the box has a bag because they're like deal packages. So it's bag, tool, battery, charger. And everything was there except for the freaking batteries. And if they had been attached to the tool, maybe they would have got past. But because
how does that work though?
Because apparently the fire hazard is that the terminals on the battery, like the metal thingies, can ignite, can like start a spark that ignites.
But if everything in the tool, they don't.
Yeah, like if they're in the tool, the terminals are attached to a thing and it's enclosed, so it doesn't have like potential contact situations.
Take note, people.
Yeah. Don't do what I did. So my dad and my grandma picked me up. We went to have lunch, which was really nice. And that started my week of eating a bunch of shit that I missed eating, but then got me sick on Christmas morning.
What?
When I threw up everything.
What?
Yeah. Like, we had dinner on the 21st. So that's
you actually throw up?
I threw up everything. Like, I know it's disgusting, but like, the whole, everything I ate for Christmas night, I threw up.
So sad. Wow.
Yeah. It was disgusting. And I hadn't thrown up in ages, which made me even more mad. Like, I was just talking to my roommate about it the other day when she got back, because she said that she also got sick. And I was like, I know, it's horrible. And you know that weird, nasty sensation that you get on your nose? And like, oh, it was horrible. And then I had no appetite for the second week. And I was basically eating because I had to eat stuff to stay alive. And yeah, it was dreadful. And so that first week, well, we got back home. It was kind of weird, like, because the house looked kind of the same, but it didn't. Like, there were a couple of minor changes. Like, my dad put railing on the entire hallway so that my grandma has something to hold on to.
Interesting.
If she needs it at any point. Yeah. And she's very OCD.
Yeah.
So, like she did when my brother left, she went through my room, cleaned up, reorganized.
Oh.
And I couldn't find anything.
Jinx.
She even, I don't know what they did, but so my room has a bed and a TV, and some time ago, my dad gave me an old home theater that we used to have in like the big TV room in my brother's room. And I installed the cables and everything, and they're very small, thin cables that you use for audio and for speakers and stuff. Well, they were broken because I don't know what the hell they did. They basically just pulled the speakers out from the bookcase or something.
Why?
And I had to go back and like find the cable and pull it back up and put it on the speaker again. I don't know. I was so angry. And they reorganized my books. And it was like 2 rows because there are too many for the space. So instead of having them like, you know how you have some standing up and then you pile them on top? No, they did 2 rows of books. And I was like, what is this? What the fuck? And then they packed my guitar like on a corner along with my yoga mat and foam rollers and stuff, and they were packed like in a bag, like in a clear plastic bag. And then my shoes were all over the place because my bed has drawers, so my shoes go on these drawers. And they moved everything. So the sneakers drawer didn't have sneakers, it had like sandals, and the shoe one didn't have shoes, it had sneakers, and I couldn't find anything. It was very annoying.
Did she throw anything away?
No, she didn't.
Okay, well, but my mom would have totally.
She reorganized massively. Then there was this box, like, the next week I was trying to find this box. My brother wanted some locks, like the suitcase locks. And he didn't have any, and I said, I have a couple in that box, because at some point my brother broke the drawer on my desk. So all the stuff that I had on that drawer, I put in a box of like Amazon that I got. And I told him, like, yeah, there's this box in my room, whatever, where I put the stuff in my drawer. He was like, there's not a box. There's nothing. And I was like, what do you mean? There should be. It should be underneath the desk. And we asked my grandma, and she's like, there wasn't any box. And my dad said, no, there was. You asked me about it, and then I have no idea where you put it. And I was like,
did you find it?
What? Yeah, it was in my closet.
Okay. Oh,
but
yeah.
Yes. So that was the first week. Culture shock. And not finding anything. And also, I was trying, like, during that first week, I was trying to actually have some work done, because we still had to release a couple of videos and stuff. And I felt the joy of being here, of not being disturbed every 5 seconds. I missed it. I appreciated having peace and quiet to work, and
unlike back home.
Yes. So first week was a newfound appreciation for being here, basically.
I that's nice. I'm glad.
And then the second week was depressive. It showed me why people say that the holidays are gloomy or sad or, yeah.
What?
Like, I had never actually felt that thing of the holidays being a sad thing, or, you know how sometimes in movies people say that, oh, it's the worst time of the year. Yeah. It's so sad.
Yeah, usually people struggling.
I finally got the concept a little bit.
How? Why?
Because first, my brother was supposed to arrive on the 24th. And his flight was scheduled to arrive, I think, at 1 a.m.
Sorry, I'm just like admiring Safita because she looks adorable. Okay, I was just taking a photo of Safita.
Yeah. So my brother should have been there at 1 a.m. in Mexico, and then taken a bus and be here, and get there at 4, so that I would pick him up from the bus station. But that didn't happen because his flight got delayed and then canceled. And then there was there was fog. Oh, like he was not even in
weather
LA.
Related.
He drove from LA to San Diego, then crossed the border there to Tijuana, and then from Tijuana there's this plane to Mexico City. Yeah, bit of a shit show. But anyway. So he was doing that, and the plane wasn't taking off because of the fog, and then they got delayed. Then there was no crew. Everybody was stranded. Finally, they found a crew. They could fly, and he ended up getting home at 9 p.m. on Christmas. He was so tired and just done and didn't want to do anything, so he had dinner, opened presents, and then went to bed.
Was this at Christmas?
Yeah. Like on the 24th.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, like, my dad and my grandma and I had dinner and everything was fine. But, I don't know, the week just felt kind of sad.
What?
Yeah, and I think it might also have had to do with the fact that during the I don't know if before Christmas, probably before Christmas, I got an email saying that I didn't get one of the jobs that I applied for. So that was like
a bummer.
Yeah. And my brother was not at home at all during the week that he was there. My dad and my grandma were very sad about it. Yeah. They were like, I mean, he came here, but he's not visiting us. He's not spending any time here. And then on New Year's, it was pretty meh. Mm. It was not bad, but yeah. It was actually quite fun to cook. My dad and I cooked dinner, and it was really nice.
Cute.
And that week also was when we did the DIY stuff with the shed and the tools and everything. And then the third week was very lazy. I didn't do anything but watch movies. And it was kind of sad, I guess, part of the sadness from the last week, that I wanted to see some of my friends, but I didn't. Like, one of them, like what I was telling you the other day, that was that one of them invited me to hang out, but I couldn't because I was supposed to pick my brother up from the bus station.
And then
it didn't happen. Yeah, and then we couldn't hang out. And then other friends, we just couldn't find the time because of several reasons.
Yeah. Everybody's doing stuff.
Yeah. So I ended up not being sad about not seeing my friends. It was more like, it's okay. I can really fine not seeing anybody.
Oh.
Yeah. So the end of like that last week was, there was this funny moment when my grandma said, 2023 sounds like a horrible year. Like, what? I don't like the number, is what she said. She doesn't like the number.
I'm hopeful for 2023.
No, that was the thing. She said, it's an ugly year. And I said, but that should mean that it's going to be a good year. Because 2022 sounded like a nice number, but it wasn't particularly great. And then 2020, which was the best of them all, we don't even need to say it.
Interesting. Okay.
So we'll see. Theory, yeah,
we'll see if that works out.
And I do feel like that. I was starting to say this to you yesterday, over coffee, that coming back now felt massively different from 4 months ago. First arriving in Vancouver.
Yeah.
This feels more hopeful, more focused, more energetic. Mm-hmm. So I'm very excited about it. Not as overwhelmed about coming back. It feels more like I know where I'm coming back to. I know what I'm doing. I know the people that I'm around, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to do, and there's a lot of stuff I want to change and I want to try. Mm-hmm.
Such as?
But, I want to start ice skating, which I've said to you before. And I want to start hanging out with more people, but in, have more of
a group of friends?
Yeah. Mm. In a more adult way, kind of. Like,
me?
I mean, I want to party and I want to do, go out and stuff. But I don't want to party and get drunk, being 18.
Shit-faced.
Yeah. No, it's more like, let's go have a nice dinner at some...
Get some wine.
Restaurant. Yeah, get some wine. Have friends that I can go out with. Like that.
Okay.
And, so yeah, it changed my outlook a lot coming back this time. Feels very different. I'm liking it.
Yay!
It's I think I spent the last portion of the year very worried about finding a job and surviving here. And it was very gloomy in general, and I was stressed and not really enjoying the time I was spending here, and not that I regretted being here, like when I first got here.
You had a hard time.
But all the time I was very self-conscious. I was very like, I should talk to more people. I should do this. Why am I not doing like self-conscious and kind of berating myself. And then this time I'm changing that approach. Like, I'm not worried about the job thing anymore because I've decided to focus on on our company. You know, so I'd rather have my attention directed at what we're doing than something that I'm not like.
Because otherwise, if you go to school and have a job, when are we gonna do our stuff?
Exactly. So that's my goal, to make our company profitable instead of working through somebody else. Because another thing that I found out, or that I got hit in the face by, is that I was applying to one job after the other, but I was never really applying to anything that I would actually want to be doing, except for that one application that I sent. So one of my friends had me read this book called You're a Badass, which it's kind of cute. Like, there's parts of it that are making me cringe, but others it's very much about ask to the universe and, you know, set up your mind for it. And so part of it was that, okay, I believe in the whole universe thing and setting your intentions and whatever. And I was thinking, like, you're like, universe, I want this. I want a job. Why don't you help me? And I wasn't getting it, and I wasn't getting it, and I wasn't getting it.
Because you were not supposed to get it.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, I was, focusing my energy so much on this thing in a very wrong way.
Yeah. That kind of happens to me. Or like, like, I went through that same thing. Because I do have okay. Like, we can go back to me. I'll just say this real quick. So I got my full-time job after, like, the struggles of moving here and whatever, and so on and so forth. And I was burning out. Like, it was insane. And that first week, I think, that you left, I was like dying. Like, my blood pressure went down, and I was like, for 3 days, I think I just like laid in bed and I slept as much as I could.
Yeah.
But it was that same thing of, like, I also was applying to jobs to be like, oh, I should either find something that pays better or try to get something that, even if it doesn't pay as good or better, so that I can work somewhere that's going to give me the skills that I can use in our company.
Yeah.
And at some point I would like think to myself, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, spreading myself or like trying to work for someone else. I'm like, no. Like, I have a job that's giving me money to pay my rent, which I need, but I need to focus my energy into our stuff, into our thing. And that took me even to taking, like, I went from a full-time job to a part-time job. And one, because of the burnout, and two, because even though it's going to be less money, it's still enough money to pay for, like, the basic stuff. And it gives me more time and space for, like, to work on our stuff, to be creative. Because otherwise I was just like...
Yeah. The things I remember because we were blogging.
Yeah.
So you said that you have low blood pressure. Low blood pressure.
Yeah.
Which, that was weird.
Well, I mean, it just came to be the fact that, so in Querétaro, and even in Quebec, I was taking B12.
Yeah.
Because as a vegetarian, like, I needed to take it. And for some reason, I don't know what happened when we moved to Vancouver. Like, my mind was in in other places. I completely forgot about taking B12. So that's what it was. And now I'm taking it again, and I'm not dying anymore.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
We need you alive. I need you alive. Anyway. So, yeah. vacation ended. I came back. The one thing though, that was also a little sad, or that made me stop and think, was that I was very lazy during that last week, but I was also kind of sad about leaving. And it brought me back to when I was, I don't know, a kid or even a teen, and my family lived in different places, everybody. So whenever we would see each other for the holidays or in the summer, and it was time to say goodbye, I would always cry when saying goodbye to my cousins.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was very sad every time. And even when I said goodbye to my dad coming here in September, I was like,
really?
I didn't fully cry at the airport.
What?
But I was like tearing up.
Wow.
And so I started remembering, those things when I have I have these photos of when I was leaving Sweden, and I was saying goodbye to my friends from the window of the bus, because there was a bus that was taking me from Jönköping, which is where we were, to Gothenburg, I think, to the airport. And I saw them on the window, and they were crying, and I was crying on the bus, and it was so sad.
That's so cute.
And so I am a complete crybaby when it comes to leaving.
Apparently.
Or waving people goodbye.
Interesting.
Yeah. And this time it kind of felt the same way. And when I was packing my stuff in the car, I was like, oh my God. And so I put my sunglasses on.
Wow. Wow.
Because I was like, I'm not going to cry. And then it sort of like a flip, like a switch flipped when I was in the car, and I was starting to want to cry. And as we drove to the airport, it kind of stopped. But I also felt how my dad was very solemn at the airport. He didn't talk much. He wasn't, we were just waiting because we got there, I don't know, an hour and a half before. So we were just there waiting for my plane for maybe, I don't know, half an hour before I went through security. And we were both very quiet, not saying anything.
Wow. Have you ever like talked to your dad about like what it's like to have both of you gone?
I don't know. No, I haven't. And
I'm intrigued.
I think there's a part of him that doesn't like it, because now, for example, the stuff that I have had to deal with my grandma and her things that we don't like about her, now he's the only person that has to deal with that.
Yeah.
So he doesn't enjoy it. I think he does appreciate having more, I don't know, more time to do some stuff. Or
because you guys took up his time? Like what?
I mean, yeah.
What?
You take up your parents' time sometimes, or their energy worrying with, I don't know, stuff. I have no idea.
I guess. I just feel like my image of your dad is very detached from you and your brother. I think mostly because I feel like he was always like in San Juan. But I guess you do end up taking, like, maybe you end up taking mental space more than time in like the way I see it. Like the time thing, I'm like, how do you take pushback? Which you do, of course, when you like talk to them and whatever.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, during that that entire week of between the 24th and the 1st, he was there every day, and we were like building stuff and going to Home Depot.
Every time I called her, she was either at Home Depot or Costco. Every time I called her.
And then, well, I mean, I guess you didn't call me that many times, because we were at Costco maybe 2 or 3 times. And Home
in
Depot
3 weeks?
Also, like 2 or 3 times, yeah.
In 3 weeks?
Well, I mean, he really likes Costco and Home Depot.
He really does. And then we've been to Costco, not to Costco, to Home Depot so many times here. And I'm just like, what?
Which, you know, the Costco here is not that pretty. I mean, the Home Depot is not that pretty, but it has a bunch of stuff that the one by my house doesn't have.
I see.
But it's
cheaper.
It is cheaper here. I think, I mean, my grandma has said, going back to how my dad misses us or not, that he does miss us. And that he, I have noticed that compared to when I was in Sweden, I talked to him a lot more being here, which also is because of the time difference. Like, it's just 2 hours.
That makes sense.
Instead of 7.
That makes a lot of sense.
So I think for me, it has been, like, we're closer. So maybe he doesn't miss me as much.
That's kind of nice, you know, nice.
Because we also, when I was there now and before leaving, we were spending a lot of time together. So I would get that he would miss me because he doesn't have anybody to exploit now. So I don't know. I wouldn't ask him. It's not like,
you're not curious about his experience?
No, not like to ask him, you know?
I would totally ask my dad.
I would not, because he's not at all touchy-feely, and he doesn't talk about...
That is true. I mean, I ask my mom all the time, like checking in, see how she's doing, and it does come up. It's very easy for my mom to tell me, you know, like she misses us, and I mean, she has my other brother right now, so that's nice because she's not alone, but she's like, I have him, but I don't have you guys, so like, you know. But I would totally like ask my dad. But then that's also the kind of thing of conversation I would have with my dad, like very specifically about like, what is this like for you, and you know, that kind of stuff. So, but I totally understand how your dad is not touchy feely. Like you wouldn't ask him that.
Exactly.
I get that.
So the same with my grandma. For example, like on Monday, on Wednesday. This Monday.
Past Wednesday.
So like
Wednesday or Monday?
What?
You said Monday and then you said Wednesday.
I'm not making any sense. Anyway, not Monday. On Sunday.
Oh wow.
My aunt died on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
And
that is true.
For a second, I was considering flying back home. And it was going to be horrible because I was just here the day before.
Like she literally just got here, yeah.
But I called my grandma and we were FaceTiming and I was asking her how she felt and everything. And she, again, not very touchy-feely, not super expressive. But she did say that she felt calm and she was okay. And so I thought, okay, then I don't need to go. You know, there's nothing really for me to do anyway. So,
and your dad has feelings about it?
I think he's mostly relieved about it.
I feel like that's the overall feeling around this.
It is. My grandma in particular said that she was
like
happy, content. Yeah, content knowing that she died of a heart attack rather than some long illness.
That is like a strange form of relief, but I get it.
Yeah. And there was a lot of problems around this thing, which I'm not going to go into because no. But it had sort of had a nice ending, and it felt for me like a good way for her to start the year as well, because she was so stressed out about this problem,
everything around that situation,
and it had drained so much of her energy over the past 2 years that I feel like this problem aged my grandma massively.
Really?
And started driving her more towards, I mean, not dementia, but she
mental
started
illness.
Yeah, like she started being very depressive and very apathetic. Apathetic? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. So I think it's a good thing to have happened.
I'm totally gonna use that as a thumbnail, just so you know. It's like, I don't know which one's the title and which one's the thumbnail, but one of them is like, my aunt died. I think it's a good thing. for one of the reels. Definitely. I can see it.
Jesus. Of course. So yeah, that was my winter break.
Indeed. Way more eventful than mine. But even though, so the thing is that both you and Pablo left me here.
Oh, we did.
You guys did. But it's fine. Like, I was very happy that you guys could actually go to, like, I were
happy to be alone. Stop sugarcoating it. You wanted to be by yourself.
Okay.
For the holiday.
I do appreciate my alone time that I haven't had in a really long time. Because even before living with Pablo, I was living with my brother and my nephew and my niece. So I was excited about the opportunity of like just me, which I haven't had in a while. That being said, so again, first week dying.
Yes.
Second week, which I guess was Christmas and New Year's. That's when Pablo left. No, okay.
No, Pablo left before, like right after I did.
Right after you. Okay,
so a couple days after.
Yeah.
After the massive storm.
The storm
invaded Vancouver and canceled every flight.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So whenever, well, we had our Christmas party, you and my nephew and my niece and Pablo, we had a little Christmas party before you guys left, which to me was my Christmas. And I was very happy about it. It was really cute.
It was.
We had pizza, actually.
Yeah, we did.
We had wine. We watched Shrek. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I was very happy. That was my Christmas. So after you guys left, I was like, I'm just going to spend time by myself, which I was looking forward to. So then, low blood pressure, dying, trying to go to the doctor, and then surviving, and buying vitamins, and all of that. Okay, slowly recuperating. Long story short, I think it was my nephew that was like, hey, we're going to have like veggie lasagna if you want to come over. And I was like,
like blackmail, but
a little bit. I did say that I would go if I was feeling okay, which I was I think it was the first or second day that I started taking my vitamins. So I think it was still too soon, and I couldn't take the car because I still like before Pablo left, there was like a whole thing about like an oil leak and Canadian Tire messing things up. Sorry, Canadian Tire, but like, come on. And so we had to take it to the dealership, but no. I had an actual appointment to take it to the dealership when I was dying, and I took it, and it turned out that it was the wrong time. Not my fault though. So I was just like, whenever Pablo comes back, we can figure out. So the point of this is that I didn't have a car, and I was barely becoming an actual person again. So I was like, I would go, but I don't think I should, because then like I worked that day, and I was gonna go and like try to come back in the middle of the night or something.
No,
I was like,
so far away.
It is so far away without the car, like so far away. Yeah. So like I live in Burnaby and they live in Surrey, but not even like it's technically Surrey. This is the way like Tavi says it. They technically live in Surrey, but it's basically Langley.
Yeah.
It takes forever. And like this is the thing. It's not just so context. I had the Christmas party before with you guys, but also with my nephew and my niece, because there's this family thing going on with my brother, and it's a big thing. It's something. It actually. So I was telling everybody that I was like so happy to spend Christmas alone. And part of me was, but then something kind of, without thinking about it, without processing, like without having any thoughts about it, I was feeling down, and I was like, why am I down? Like, this is nice.
It's the holidays.
Apparently, I guess so.
Adulting holidays.
Yeah, they're different, because I did sort of like go back to thinking when I was little, and we would go to Sinaloa with like big Mexican family, like my grandma, and I have like 12 aunts and uncles, and they all have like 2 or 3 kids or more.
Yeah,
so like 52 cousins or whatever. It's like the one generation of cousins, and then there's the next generation, and there's like a ton more. Crazy huge Mexican family. And even though I didn't like going to Sinaloa, it was fun, because there were so many people, and aunts making food, and uncles doing whatever uncles did, and cousins, even though I would only get along with like 2. But it was something that I don't think I'm ever gonna have again. At least in that scale.
Yeah.
Because even if I go now, like the last time that I went to Christmas in Sinaloa, which was before the pandemic, I think, it wasn't as massive. Like, my aunts and uncles are now scattered between the US and Mexico, and like other parts of Mexico, and like, I don't think I'm ever going to have those Christmases that I had when I was little. And then I can't remember the last time, and partly because I have horrible memory, that my mom actually put up a tree. I know. What? So I'm like, when am I going to have like a Christmas with my mom putting out the tree? Because I actually remember that time that I was at your house and you guys were putting up the tree.
When was that?
I don't know. But I actually remember that one, and I don't remember whenever I did it with my mom. Like, so I was having lots of feelings. And it actually helped me record the first episode of Intimacy, which will be out soon. So that was like bittersweet, but nice. And once I got all the feelings out, I was like, okay, so I understand that this is something that I'm processing and going through. And before I realized what it was, I was just like, I'm okay being alone. I'm okay, everybody. Like, everybody just needs to listen and know that I'm okay. And now I'm like, oh, of course I was saying it to myself. So again, once I processed it and like I said it out loud, then I was like actually okay. And I was able to enjoy my next week until Pablo came back. So very interesting. I am hoping to have like more of a Christmassy feeling this year. I am very hopeful for 2023. I'll say that. Like,
I mean, me too, in a way of, I think that, so 2020 was shit show, and we all know it.
Yeah.
And it started out as this very cool thing.
Out as a feel. Sorry. Do you know what song I'm singing? Which then grew into a hope.
Yeah.
Do you know
what? I know it. It's like in my brain. What is it, like one of those? What's it called? What was the band's name?
I don't know the band's name. No, it's like a singer.
It's a singer.
It's a singer.
Anyway, no, I don't. Not right.
I can tell you.
Who's it?
It's from the Chronicles of Narnia. Regina Spektor.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Continuing.
2022. I mean, 2020. I remember, like, I was at New Year's with my grandma and my cousins, and it was a lot of fun. And we had these like 2020 glasses. It was gonna be great. Mm-hmm. And then freaking pandemic, and I feel like 2021 was like, oh, we're getting out. This is gonna be the one, which wasn't. And then 2022 kind of echoing that 2021 thing, like this is the one where we actually, and it actually did. Like we got out, like we stopped wearing masks. Everybody was getting back
to some sort of sense of normalcy. Yeah. New normal.
And this year, I wasn't even thinking about it in terms of the pandemic anymore. It was more of where I am in life. Yeah. Of what I want to be doing and
moving to Canada, starting the Pine and Water Company. Yeah. Which, good news, we can share that we have a name. Like we're actually like registered.
Yeah. As a company now.
So excited.
That thing. And I kept having people ask me over there if I wanted. A couple of people were like, so you're living in Canada for the rest of your life? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm
for the foreseeable future.
So, yeah. Like for the next maybe 5 years. Sure.
Yeah.
The rest of my life, I don't know. I don't know.
Would you want to live in, like, would you want to
stay here forever?
Do you see yourself living here do you see yourself going back? Like, what?
I don't know. So, and this took me back to the last year of school. I had this, like, introduction to Intro a la Vida Profesional was the name. Mm-hmm. So, it was, like, Intro to Professional Life.
Which was a scam, just so you know.
It was a complete scam. But one of my teachers, he was a very cool teacher, had us do one of those exercises where you answer questions and you sort of, where you see yourself in the next 10 years. And he prefaced this exercise saying that he did it when he was our age. And he wrote the answers down. And I don't know, 10 years later, he found the paper.
And he's like, it happened.
Like, yeah, exactly. Okay. I don't remember all of the questions or all of the answers. But I do remember this one about where I was living. And my answer was Vancouver, Amsterdam, and LA, I think. And Mexico. Like, going back and forth between those 4 places.
Ooh.
And that's still kind of what I'm going for, you know? I don't know if Amsterdam necessarily...
Yeah, like, we're just missing Amsterdam, technically.
I'm between, like, right now, because when I was coming here and I was on that crisis of I fucked up, why am I in Vancouver? I thought, why didn't I go to Sweden? And so maybe instead of Amsterdam or along with Amsterdam, it can be Stockholm, which I'm not opposed to at all. So yeah, maybe it's life between LA, Vancouver, Amsterdam, Sweden. Stockholm, Mexico. Yeah, something along those lines.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited. There we go.
So, yeah.
All right.
It looks like a nice start to a new year. That's gonna.
I don't know if it's my hopeful nature, because probably I don't feel. I don't think there's any year that I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a horrible year.
Yeah.
Right. Even in pandemic, but I don't know.
I agree. Well, I think I know what you mean.
About like how 2023 feels good.
Yeah, like in a different way.
Yeah.
It's not like the regular, oh, this is going to be an amazing year, you know?
Maybe after everything we've been through as a society and like individuals in our lives because of everything that's been happening, the freaking end of the world, parts 2, 3, 4, anyways, all of that. All together at the same time.
Everything everywhere all at once.
Exactly. I just watched it. That's why.
I was editing the politics episode today.
Nice. So maybe because of all of that, it's like, this has to be the good one.
Yeah.
I don't know. But hopefully, like, again, I am hopeful for 2023. It feels good.
It does.
And maybe it's partly because I feel like we're more like definitely like 2022. Jesus
freaking Christ! It was
H. Roosevelt Christ.
Yeah.
Like for me, it was a very difficult year. Very like ups and downs coming here.
Upending everything.
Just crazy.
No, yeah.
And right now, 2023, it's like, you know, we're starting the year. We're in Canada. I have a job, paying bills, and we have our company, and we're working really hard on it. And it's just, you know, like,
yeah,
feels good. Feels good. Let's hope that it just keeps getting better. Getting better.
I actually, on my notebook, I wrote down kind of the same thing that I've been talking about. Because during that 3 weeks, I didn't actually sit down to write anything, even though I kept thinking about it. I was too lazy and but I wrote, like, I put a tab on it, like on a bookmark to reference later in case needed. It's there, like open in case of emergency, kind of
cute.
To like go back to this sort of focused state, because that's also, I think, something that I had lost. I felt very scattered and not at all focused on this like one target of the Pine and Water Company, and taking care of myself too, because I felt very like, between all the stress and uncertainty and everything, I started feeling that stress and everything on my body. So that's why I'm bookmarked in case of emergency. Like, go back to this state of focus and clear goals and clear things that I want to do, and not get sidetracked by stupid bullshit that comes along.
Great. I have a question. Do you feel more adult?
I do. And in this weird way that, okay, so my grandma has this thing that bugs me a little bit. Where one of many.
I know, stating the obvious
that, here. She usually says, like, she's 82 right now, but she'll say she's 83. Because apparently my grandpa had this thing of saying that you're on the 83rd year of your life, which is true. You're on the 83rd year of your life. But that does not mean that you're 83 already.
Right.
But it has happened to me before that there's times when I think about how old I am, and I'm not saying the actual number, or it doesn't register on my brain. So, for example, I remember a lot being 22, and I would say, "Oh, I'm 22," and I love the table. Yeah,
22.
And then when I turned 23, because I didn't like the number again, I was like, I'm 23, 22, 24. I don't know.
Okay.
When I turned 25, I felt like, again, odd number. I liked it, but it was weird.
Was it a big thing? Like, 25?
I mean, I guess it would have been a bigger thing if the pandemic hadn't happened, because I would have wanted to have a big party, which I didn't have at all. And then when I turned 27, because we have among our group of friends that joke of the 27
group
club.
Yeah, that thing.
I was joking around with one of our friends who is also, because we have different ages in our group friend.
Yeah.
So you and me and another one of our friends are the same age. A couple of them are younger, a couple of them are older. And
who's older?
Lalo and Alex.
They are?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I thought we only had baby friends.
No, they're older than us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
revelation.
When we turned 27, specifically Diego and I, because his birthday is one day before mine. we were both joking about the 27 club and all of that. And this time, I've been feeling like I'm 27. If somebody asks me, I have to like think about it for a second because I kind of forget. And I think I'm 26 most of the time. But lately, like this past week, and maybe it's because this year I turned 28, I've been thinking I'm 28, and it's kind of freaking me out a little bit. Not because I feel super old, which sometimes I do. Sometimes I go judging myself and being like, oh, you're so old. What are you doing with your life?
Really?
Occasionally, yeah. Sometimes it has happened. But I do think I have felt more like I got my shit together. I don't know if more adult, but like I said before, more focused, more with clear goals in mind. And not that I didn't have clear goals before. I think I've always had a very clear idea of stuff that I want to do. But I would have, especially around college and that time, I would have other friends that were doing a bunch of cool stuff. And it was like, why am I not doing that? Why am I not doing anything? I'm a failure.
Any cool stuff that comes to mind?
Like there was this girl that I met in high school, and she was a photographer for National Geographic. And I was like, I want to do that. How do I want to do that?
That's so cool.
But it, like, I never followed through, so I never did it. And she was, at the time, I think she was 30.
We can still do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So when you're 16, being 30 sounds like so far away.
Yeah.
But right now, being 30 is like 2 years away.
That's crazy.
Which is so insane.
It like hit me because I was thinking, okay, so it's 2023. I'm going to be 28. And I was thinking, okay, 2024. Because I am excited for 20. I was telling Pablo that I have this thing where like some years, but more like my age years. So for some, like I thought when I turned 24, like my 24 year was going to be like something. It was going to be important. And it ended up being very important, you know, like both my dad died and I met Pablo. So big year for me. And then the next year was going to be my 27th.
Yeah.
And just because I like numbers. Like I like 3 and like multiples of 3. So, but not every multiple of 3 does it. So it was 24 and then it was going to be 27. And so for 27, you know, moved to Canada. So it's doing something for me. And so I was thinking, okay, so then, what about 2024 as a year instead of my age, you know, because my birthday is on the 24th. That's why it's important. So it was like, I'm going to be turning 29. I was like, wait, what? What? Although I got to say, like, I got excited because I was like, that's the year that you and I are going to plan our trip to Scotland and Ireland.
That is true. That is very true.
So I'm very excited. And there's this thing of like how the 20s are the new teen years where you have no idea what's happening with your life. And the 30s are the actual years where you like figure stuff out. So I'm like low-key super excited about my 30s.
About figuring your shit out?
Well, I feel like I am.
Yeah.
Right now. Like, I feel like we're actually doing the thing that we want to do, you know? But yeah, because when I feel like this is something that we've talked more about in pockets. But this idea of how our parents or grandparents just like did high school and then just had a job and supported a family and had like tons of children. And that was life. And people died at 60 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then us, it's like, we're a weird thing. Because after that, it was like, oh, so instead of just doing high school and then you're set, then there came university. So you did university and then you're set. And then it was us, and it's like, oh, right, like university, like not really.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing of like, you can be a dropout and have success. You can do school and not really know what to do with your life. It's a weird thing. It's all everything up in the air and whatever. But my point is that it has translated even psychologically to us living at different stages of life than our previous generations lived. So the 20s, and it's something that I love about Guillermo del Toro when he tweeted something like, my 20s were the worst. And like, I felt like I was all like, I was doing nothing with my life, and it was the worst, most anxious time of my life. And right now I'm having the time of my life, like the best thing. So a little bit along the lines of that, I just feel like after the 20s, where it's like this foggy, I have no idea what's happening with me or with the world that I live in, I just think 30s are going to be really cool.
Yeah, I kind of, along the same lines of Del Toro, the tweet, I guess, or what? Yeah. A friend of mine was like, so being 20 is kind of weird because it's great. Like, but you don't realize how great it is until you're not 20 anymore. And I think it was when I turned 25 that she said this to me. And she said, yeah, don't be like me. Don't worry about your 20s. 20s are for having fun and doing cool stuff. When you're 30 is when you actually have to, when you start to get, your life together and be more adult. And it's really funny because she's turning 40.
Okay.
And so, it was this whole thing of her speech of enjoy your 20s because they are a lot of fun, and don't worry so much, because I spent my 20s worrying and
about life,
thinking that I needed to have everything sorted out, and it's not real. Like, you are still struggling to figure stuff out in your 30s and probably in your 40s and 50s and whatever. So it's okay to not have everything settled down and
figure it out.
Yeah. And I did not listen to her. I still freaked
You're worried?
out. I still worried. But yeah, I do have that, like, that appreciation for being excited more than freaking out about, oh my God, I'm being old. You know?
Yeah. But I think at some point, and I don't know when, it clicked, because I feel like when you're younger, and even in our early 20s, I feel it's funny to say in our early 20s, like we're past that, you know? It's so odd. But in our early 20s, I feel like we still had, as not just you and me, just like as people in the early 20s, I feel like we still had this perception of life of like, whatever I do right now is just going to be forever.
Yeah.
And at some point that changed, and I'm like, I'm doing something right now, and that can change tomorrow, and that can change in 10 years, and that can change, you know, like it's not this sort of life sentence. And it either goes great or it goes completely wrong, and my life, it's gone forever. You know what I mean? So that gives me so much peace of mind.
It does.
It's just like, well, if this doesn't work out, just do the next thing, or like, just like you said, like, I want to ice skate, and I want to like do paddleboard or kayaking or stuff like that. And it's something that just because we haven't been doing it before or whatever, it's because I feel like maybe there's this perception that you can't pick up new stuff as you get older.
Yeah.
Like you only do the hobbies that you had, or you just lose all your hobbies. No hobbies because you're getting older. But it's like,
I absolutely hate, you have no idea how much I hate that idea of how
that you don't pick up new stuff.
Yeah. Like, it pisses me off so much whenever somebody says, oh, I'm too old to try this. Or,
it's like, no.
I'm like, no, that's bullshit. That, like, ugh. It's disgusting. Don't do that.
I agree. I didn't know it triggered you this much, but I agree.
It does. Yeah, never late to try anything. I was just left thinking for a second of how you asked me if I was feeling old. And
I said adult.
I mean, okay, adult.
I did not say old.
My answer is more going back to the age and the numbers and stuff. I feel like I jump from... I don't have a linear scale of being 22, 23, 24, 25. Mm-hmm. It's more like I was 22. Like, my previous age was being 22, and now I'm 28. You know? I don't know how that my brain sort of does this thing of... I remember being 18. Mm-hmm. Then I remember being 22. Then now I'm 28.
I think I jumped 22, 24, 27 right now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that was... We went places I didn't know we were going to go. But I liked it.
That's the magic of a cup of tea.
It is. It takes us cool places.
Yeah.
And just like... I'm excited.
Me too. I don't know that I have a rec for today. I feel like I have a long list of recs and I keep forgetting them. But
you can rec the Everything movie.
Oh yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once. If you haven't seen it at this point, where are you?
Living? I mean, I just watched it like 2 days ago, so who knows? Maybe you haven't seen it. I don't know.
Anyway, watch it. It's wonderful. I love it.
Oh, you can read your book.
Which book?
The Anthropocene Thingy.
Oh yeah, that was gonna be my rec. Totally, and I forgot about it. So John Green wrote this book during the pandemic. Haha.
Oh, I'm gonna rec my book. It's over here. Okay, rec yours.
Called The Anthropocene Reviewed, and I find that I started reading it and I got a copy from the school library, which is signed, and I thought that was really cute.
Wow.
And when I asked my brother for this book for Christmas, I was like, please have it be a signed copy. He didn't get it. But it's a different edition where now the jacket of the book has reviews for that book instead of reviews for other of his books. And there's this one that said something about how... And I think it synthesizes the book very well. He talks about the mundane, but in a very whimsical way, which is what I really like about it. Because, as the title indicates, it's about reviews, about stuff. He reviews Dr. Pepper and The Plague and Indianapolis and the Indy 500. And it's really... funny and random and magical.
Interesting.
It is a really great book. And it has made me... I'm reading and then I find this sentence and it sort of makes me go and think about a bunch of stuff. So
as good books do, I guess.
Yeah, I really like this. And I didn't think about it. I didn't think I would like it this much because I have read The Fault in Our Stars and Looking for Alaska, which I never finished because I didn't like it. I stopped reading like halfway through. So I was like, I don't know. It's John Green. I mean, I kind of like John Green. And it was a very nice surprise. And I love this book.
Well, there you go. And, okay. So, Ivy, Pam is sitting on my book, so I can't take it. Pam is my plant. But I'm reading... What is it?
The Life of the Stoics?
Yeah, something like that. Sorry, Pam. Yeah, it's literally Lives of the Stoics. And it's by Ryan Holiday from The Daily Stoic. So if you don't follow him already, I highly recommend him. I'll say, like, I've always been into this sort of philosophy, Greek philosophy, Greek mythology, just Greeks everywhere. I've always been a fan, always been interested. I think at some point you lent me The World of
Sophie's
Sophia.
World, yeah.
Or whatever that is in English. Yes, Sophie's World. And I just like had it forever. And like, I think I gave it back to you years later.
Yeah.
Probably. So, but I did give it back, you know. And I think it's really cool that he's made it mainstream.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so especially Stoicism. Just because I feel like it's I think a lot of the times I don't know if it's like consumerism or I don't know what it is, but I feel like and this is just like personally my take, just saying, that we just get too comfortable as a society or like pop culture or whatever. What I mean is that we kind of, what I always liked about the philosophy and all of that, it was like, it shows you a way to live better, like the good life, like with purpose and, analyzing yourself and looking in and looking out and a lot of stuff that I feel like we forgot to do, like know yourself. I feel like it's such a thing that people don't do in like mainstream stuff. So I'm just very grateful that he's made it mainstream for people, and so many people follow him. And if you don't already, go. It's just motivation wise and just self-growth and just philosophy, it's cool. I'm a fan. I'm taking my time because I'm like, it's not, he has like a ton of books, and I'm very, you can give me more of his books on my birthday. Okay. But this one, because it's not like about philosophy, I guess, like he has, I haven't read them, but I listen to his podcast, so he says it all the time of like, ego is the enemy, and what is that thing? Discipline is destiny. Something about courage stuff. So this one's more like about the lives of these philosophers. So I'm taking my time to like get to know each of them, because I feel like I've heard about them, I've heard quotes about them, and I guess it makes sense. It's very easy to read, which on the one hand I think it's cool because it makes it easy to read and share in mainstream. On the other hand, I feel like I miss a little bit of the mysticism of philosophy, or like mystical fascination of it. But I can get that somewhere else. So I'm just, maybe his other books are like that, when it's not like about the lives of these people, where it's more like about the philosophy. I'll just have to give it a try. So there you go. Two books to recommend. We're very happy about them.
Yeah, we are.
And that's it for today. The first cup of tea of 2023.
Yeah. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for sharing a cup of tea with us. Send us your comments using the hashtag #AQuadcast, and remember to subscribe to get fresh episodes every week. To watch more episodes of A Cup of Tea, click the link on the right. If you want to watch Pockets in the Universe, go to the playlist on the left.